Hey guys, so this is just going to be a quick video. I just really wanted to touch base on some of the things that we talked about on Monday. I was really happy with the conversations that we started. I think we got off to a good start talking about things like discourse community and starting to think about genre in a way that we're going to be thinking about it really much more closely in our next project. But I want to recap a couple things if you're still a little bit confused. So remember that in Project 1, all we're doing is we're taking those first six criteria that Swales gives us. And if you don't remember, we got that definition on week 1 in that Wikipedia entry. We're just taking those six different criteria and we're looking at how a community that you're interested in fits those criteria, right? And you're using examples from your community to show that. So in other words, you're going to be talking to me about, what are the common goals of your community? What genres does your community use? What kind of jargon does your community use? All of those things that we talked about in class, or what I'm going to want to see in your research guide. And so as I said, really defer to those two samples that I posted because those are a really good idea about how to format what you're doing. Remember, this is not like a formal essay. It's more of that kind of bulleted point list kind of thing. So make sure that you're, kind of using that format to save yourself time. Also, make sure that you are checking the minimum requirements on the actual Project 1 assignment because both of those samples are missing a few things. So make sure that you're not following them so closely that you are also missing those things. Okay, so what I want to do for this video is to talk to you guys about the kind of first stages of research that you're embarking on right now. Just to recap, though, we've got a couple readings for this week. I think I got an email saying that one of these was not working. I will double check them after I post this video and let you guys know if there's any problems. But as far as I know, they're all working, but I'll double check. But remember, you're only picking one of those. And so then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the one you pick as well as an article from the field that you're interested in, and you're going to be summarizing them both for our blog. Now, it's that research thing that I want to talk about today because a lot of you probably have not done research like this before. You've either gone in with a topic in mind or with a field that you're somewhat familiar with. And so it struck me that in this case, a lot of you could be investigating fields that you have no experience in, right? I mean, you could just be starting out. So I want to talk a little bit about how you might go about finding things like, just good articles in your field, or how you might go about looking for those major topics and trends in the field, because that's one of the things that Project 1 asks you. Now, we talked about this a little bit in class, but I thought it might be better if I just show you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my field as a model, and the process that I use will be very similar for what you guys should be doing if you're looking for articles in your field. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this library resources tab. So let's click that. All right, so that's going to bring us here. The first thing that I want you to do is go up to this research guides, and this will get us to the list that we're looking for. Now, as I said in class, this research guide list, you should be able to find a topic on here somewhere that is related to the field that you're interested in, because it literally covers basically everything Wayne State has to offer. And so, find where you fit. So in my case, since I'm a literature scholar, we're going to go down to English. So let's head down here. Now, what I want to think about is like, okay, so let's say that I'm a freshman, I'm just starting out in English, I want to be an English major, but I have to identify the major trends in English right now, and I have no idea. Well, that's not good. Go away. But I have no idea how to do that or where I would go. Well, that's what the research guide is for. So what I've done is I've gone to the English research guide, and what they've done is they've given me a lot of different tools that I could use to do this assignment. Now, what we're going to be looking for is, since I'm in literature, we're going to go over here to this literary and cultural studies tab. So let's go ahead and check this out. So what this librarian has done is they've collected all the databases that Wayne State has, or the Wayne State offers, that are useful for literature and cultural studies scholars. And so our job now is to figure out which one of these we want to use. Any one of these would be useful to us. We just need to figure out which one we like. And what you're going to find is that as you progress through your major, there will be kind of your go-to databases or sources or resources that you might use repeatedly. And so we could click on any one of these. I'm just going to click on JSTOR because it is just so easy to use. And so we're just going to go here. All right, so what you'll find is any database that you click on, it'll basically bring you to here. So if you've never used a database before, there's a couple things that you should know. You could type in whatever you want into this field, and you'll probably kick back something. So let's, for example, just type in Renaissance literature, since that's what I'm interested in. You can see that I have 154,000 results. Now, that's not exactly useful. And so this is where, when I was talking in some of your first blogs, where you might need to either focus a bit or something like that, this might be a good place to do it. So, like, instead of just doing medicine, like, is there a particular kind of medicine that you're interested in, and then you could search for that, right? And so in this case, I'm not interested so much in German Renaissance literature. I'm interested in English Renaissance literature. All right. So you can see we've automatically cut off 51,000 results. Still have 100,000 left. Not so hot, but we're getting there. Okay. And so from here, you might just start thumbing through. Like, oh, this is all great stuff, right? Well, the problem is that we're not exactly guaranteeing that we're getting the best or most recent or most relevant sources that we could. And so there's a couple of things that you should do when you come into a database. I want to go over the advanced search here in a minute, but for now, let's just stay with where we are. All right, so in order to think about like what a major trend or topic might be, then we don't really want to think about what a major trend or topic was in like 1980, right? So your first goal should be to try to limit the dates. And so I'm just doing 2010 to 2017. Even that's a little bit of a stretch, but 7 years seems fine because 2010 is a nice round number. All right, so here we go. So this is what it's given us. It's given us a list of things ranging from, and you can see we're down from 154 down to 7,900, which is still a lot, but it's better. And so what this has given us is this is everything written over the last 7 years about English Renaissance literature. Okay. Again, not exactly like the easiest thing to sift through, but if all we're looking for is a few major topics or major trends, then this is fine. But there's a couple things that I want to point out to you. One of which is you should pay attention to what kind of source you're looking at, right? In this case, we're looking at a review. And so what this means is that if I were to open this up and read it, it would not be this article. It would be a review of that article written by this person, okay? Now that in and of itself is not a problem. However, when you're doing your own research and you're looking for different sources to support an argument or something like that, then you're not going to want to cite the review. You're going to want to go to the article that's being reviewed and cite the actual primary source. Okay, I don't really care what Jan says about this article. I care about what this article says. Okay, so that's one thing. However, for our purposes here, when we're just looking for major topics, we don't really need to go much farther because all we're really doing is we're looking at the kind of major titles of these articles, which is easily displayed here, to see if we notice any trends, right? And so let's take a look at what we see. Automaton in English Literature, Empire and Nation, that's probably the same essay. Theologies, Empire and Nation again, Sacred and the Profane, Archaeologies of English Literature. Okay, so if we thumb through here, basically what we can do is we can look through the first few pages, and so you see how the review is now gone away. So these are like the primary sources. These are articles now. And so if we start to thumb through here and we look at the titles, then we might notice some things. Like, for example, if we keep seeing the idea of like empire coming up over and over again, or race, or economy, or gender, any one of these things that might come up, repeatedly, then we could say like, look, this is clearly a major topic, right? A lot of people are writing about this. Okay, and so boom, there you go. You could write that down, like this is a major topic. Let's just see if we can see any law and production, goodness, mages, boys and women, memoriam. Okay. Here we go. Gender again. So we had women on the first page, gender coming up again. We've got more religion stuff. And so we can see that things like gender and religion are hot topics right now in the field, which is true. And so that's what we could do. And that's how you could locate major topics and trends in your field, right? And so if you're just starting out and you have no idea, then use those library research guides and kind of go back through this video and see what I did in this, and it'll get you there. Essentially, all you're doing is you're picking one of the databases or two of the databases. You're narrowing your search to a specific, time frame, and you're just seeing what comes up, right? And that'll help you get a grasp of, what is important to people right now in the field. That's what we're looking for. So your goal then is to pick one of these articles and do a quick 100 to 200 word summary of it for your blog. Do a quick 100 to 200 word summary of one of the articles you're reading for our class this week, and there's your blog too. Now, what I do want to say is that I do not want to see any summaries of reviews. I don't care what a review says. I want to see summaries of actual articles to make sure that you're doing that. All right. The other thing that I wanted to touch on now that we're actually in a database, so let's just go back. And so let's say we're back to our starting point. So instead of doing all of those steps one at a time, doing the date range, doing all that stuff, right, you can just do this advanced search. And so this is just a really easy way to make sure you're like from the outset limiting the search results that you'll get so that you're not wasting a whole lot of time. And so we could just do, English Renaissance. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. And so what these things are, these are modifiers. You could add more or take some away. And essentially what it's going to do is it's going to pair these two things together and search for anything that has both of those ideas. Or you could do or, and so it's search for anything with English Renaissance or literature. Or you could do something like this, and so it's search for everything English Renaissance that does not include literature. So this is how you can play around with those. So it's one way you can make your search more specific. The other thing you could do is you could totally limit your search to, let's say, all you wanted to look at were articles and no reviews. Boom. Now all you'll get are articles. You won't have to worry about sorting through reviews. You can do your date ranges all there, etc., etc. Okay. So again, guys, all I'm looking for this week is for you guys to obviously finish Project 1. By now, you should have your feedback from me. For Project 1, all I've done is I've basically posted a few comments as a reply to the draft that you posted in your discussion board. For future essays that are longer actual essays, what I'll do is I'll download the document, make some comments on the document itself, and then send them to you via email. So for this time, however, just look for them on Blackboard right where you posted them in your group folder anyway. So, all right, guys, I will see you on Monday, and if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me, and I will talk to you later. Bye.